So I gotta get people here to help me, and I mean, I gotta organize everything. But I'm packing Mike DeWine tonight, and I gotta be able to go to something immediately and say, you know, this is what I got, you know. Does anybody have a phone? Is that your phone?
Yeah.
Sean's?
Mine.
You got your phone?
Yeah.
Is it where you call out?
Should.
I want to call Mike DeWine's office.
Oh.
Because I want everybody to hear what it says in the beginning, what he says. Huh?
We're live.
We are?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Just now.
Oh.
People just now getting ordered.
Okay. Well, I'll have you call it. When we get to that, I want you to call that number right there. And then I want everybody to hear what it says.
Should.
If not, we can run down to Kim's phone and do it. How many people?
23.
Let's see what this thing is. I can't do that one. That's alright, let's just build up some. That's what it is. Hey, put it on a poster.
That's what it's going.
Yeah, that one, the reward poster. Because that's what it's about tonight.
Every breath is a kiss from above. Every rising sun is an act of love. Life is a gift. Every laugh from a child at play. Every breeze on a summer day is of him. And I know life is a gift. When I stop and think about it, it changes everything. I'm further down the road, the more and more I know. I do not deserve it, but I receive it. Life is a gift. Every bride on her wedding day, every baby conceived reminds me of this. Oh, life is a gift. The more I live, the more I know. I do not deserve it, but I receive it. I'm further down the road. For more and more and
Go over to this one now. Go over to that one now. Put it on the whole, where they can see all the pictures. All right, everybody. I wasn't going to do this another live feed so soon, but then some things came up today, and it's something that I need to do immediately and make a move on this. And I'm asking everybody, and I mean everybody all over the world. I'm asking everybody that is in Mackenzie's Army to. I'm going to show some phone numbers up here tonight. So if you get, I'm going to give time for everybody to get a pen and paper. I want everybody, when I'm done with this tonight, to call these numbers and ask them, what in the world is going on with Mackenzie Taylor Branham's case? Why is it that this father has so much evidence and has brought so many people to get justice for Mackenzie, and nobody is making a move on anything? And I'm going to show you tonight some things tonight that proves exactly what I am saying. And I'm to the point now, I don't care if the Fayette County Sheriff's Office is watching. I want them to watch. I'm going to explain exactly what's going to happen, what I'm going to do, and hopefully there's a good outcome on this. Everybody knows in the last 12 years I've been working on my daughter's case. And in 2017, I started with Mackenzie, started digging into stuff, knocking on doors, traveling and getting information, talking to people and getting them to send me information and everything. And this is 2018, and new things have surfaced again. And I'm going to prove some things tonight that I want everybody to pay attention to. And I'm serious. I mean, like I said in my last live feed, what people have got to realize, this could be your daughter right here. This could be your child right here on this wall. And what I'm going to show tonight is some things that I brought forward. I've done my, as a father, everything I can. But there is a wall in my way, and I'm going to prove that wall tonight. And please just listen to everything I'm saying tonight. Understand what I'm saying tonight. I will take any questions towards the end of this. But something has to be done. Like I said, my last live feed, I read you guys stuff. I showed things. And we all know, and we all believe in our hearts, mind, and soul who's behind the actual fire that killed my daughter. But there's another wall. I sit there and I have to deal with this, I have to deal with that, and I'm just one person. And, I'm working on trying to find out what happened to my daughter, but at the same time, I'm fighting the justice system that should be doing their job and protecting my child, but not only protecting my child, protecting every community on the errors that were made and mistakes that were made, so that this doesn't happen again to somebody else's child. So, I'm going to start up here and let everybody see what I was doing. I called the fire marshal this morning, and I talked to the fire marshal, and I asked him, I said, when's the last time you talked to Fayette County? And he said it's been 1 year. 1 year since the Fayette County Sheriff's Office notified him. Now, my question to that is the fire marshal is the one who proved it was an arson. That's what he did. He proved that it was an arson. And ATF did, and so did 6 other agents. And they proved that it was an arson. And that arson's not going to change. That fire is going to be an arson. I read it in the paper to you guys where they even said after intensive interviews, after intensive collecting of evidence, that arson is not an accident. So, it's not an accident at all. So my question is, why in the world, when this person right here, which is the brother of the mother, when he came forward, not only on my live feed, but also in text message, when he come forward and he put another person at that scene and also described what my daughter was wearing that night before she went to bed, which we all know, the blue nightgown. And I want to show everybody this photograph. And like I said, it is a graphic photograph, but it proves my point. My daughter supposedly went to bed that night in a blue nightgown. This is how my daughter come out of that house. And there is not a blue nightgown on her. So, I have a witness that said he was there the night of the fire, was in that house the night of the fire, and left within an hour of that fire. But I turned all that information over to the Fayette County Sheriff's Office, and we're almost at 30 days of turning that information over, and they have not yet contacted this uncle. They haven't contacted him. He verified it today. They ain't even brought him in and asked him anything about this person that he put in the house the night of my daughter's fire, or talked about anything else about that house and that night of that fire. And this is almost 30 days now, and they haven't even brought the key witness that was there the night of the fire in and asked him anything. In almost 30 days now. And that's sad. That's sad. That is so disrespectful. You know, the sheriff's office keeps saying, if you all remember reading his articles in the paper, that he's waiting on one key to the puzzle. That's what he said, waiting on one key to the puzzle. And I've already given him almost 50 keys to this puzzle since I started this investigation of my daughter's death. But, like I said, this is a #1 witness. I mean, you're only talking an hour, maybe less than that he leaves and there's a house fire and it's ruled an arson and my daughter's murdered in it. And you don't even talk to this person. I don't understand what, we live in a small county. Our county don't have crime every day. There ain't murders. There ain't, there's just not that much crime. So I don't understand what they're so busy doing that they can't call this person in and talk to him. I don't understand that part. Number 2 is we're going on 60 days now, and I've talked to every witness that I gave Vernon Stanford and Ryan McFarland, every phone number of these witnesses that was up during that fire, that Marianne and Kenny knocked on their door, Marianne and Kenny talked to them, and all these witnesses, and there's 7 of them, and they haven't yet made one phone call to none of these witnesses. None. 7 witnesses to what happened that night at that fire. And now we're at 60 days, maybe a little more. Because actually one of them, of the witnesses, is 12 years. And has not yet spoke to that person. 12 years. And that person also, that one witness, is the first place Marianne went to and knocked on their door. And in 12 years haven't talked to him. But here's the bad part about it. That witness, his name's also on the sheriff report as the 911 caller. 911 caller. 12 years haven't talked to that witness. 60 days haven't talked to the other 6 witnesses that I gave them. 6 witnesses. Every one of these are an actual witness to that fire. And they haven't even spoke to them once. Not one time. And I've given them, every one of them, their phone number. I even took the time, and I'll prove it. I'm going to show you guys what I did. See, Vernon Stanford came to my house. And as always, he just told me what I wanted to hear, so I would be quiet. And he came to my house, and he said, do me a favor, Donald. Draw me a map. So I drew this big square like this. Okay? And I said, this will be Maple Street. Alright, this is what he got drawn. And I put a house right here. And I put a house right here. And there's a house right here. And then here's the house that was on fire. And there's a house right there. And then there's a house right there. And a house right there. And this is the fire station right here. So this is the fire station. Okay, that is the fire. This is where Mackenzie was. This is a witness. This is a witness. This is a witness. And then I put a house, I think it's right here. This is a witness. And this is a witness. Now, and then there's one right here. I don't want to forget this house. And this is a witness. Okay. So, and this is a witness. Alright. Out of all these right here, I drew a map. I gave them the name and phone numbers of all these witnesses right here. I gave them the phone number, I gave them the address, and their names. 60 days ago. Now, this person don't live there no longer, and these people don't live there no longer. But I still have their phone numbers, and still gave them. This one still lives there. 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 And this one still lives there. 60 days. Now, the mother went out of this backyard, like that's her story. She supposedly stopped at this house. Then she come out on Maple Street, came up the street, went to this house, woke them up. Then went to this house, woke them up. And then went back to this house and sat right there on the porch. Okay, this is a witness right here that came outside and saw at the time a small fire down here. They saw a small fire. And then they came back out later and then it was a big fire that they saw. This is the first house she went to and woke up and they came out and they seen everything that was going on. This witness is where she borrowed a pair of shoes from. She went to this house and got a pair of shoes. Then she went to this house and sat in that house. This witness is the one that came down here, and there's railroad tracks that come down through here. And she stood right here and took a picture of that house, which is this fire right here. This is this picture right here that they didn't have. They didn't even know it existed. Okay, that's that picture of that fire that witness took, and also her husband witnessed. Now, this witness that is right here is the one that saw Mackenzie at 2:30 that day. Between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. Coming home from school, walking up the street from school. So, all these witnesses here never been interviewed by the Fayette County Sheriff's Office. But, these 2 witnesses called the Fayette County Sheriff's Office at least 3 times and told them who they were and what they was. All these witnesses, this one and these 2, and that's it, these 3 right here on the corner, all were on Channel 10 News. They were on Channel 10 News, telling them exactly, Channel 10 News, what was going on, what happened, all that. And nobody ever investigated them. Nobody went and talked to them, took down a statement or anything of what they saw or what they were thinking of or anything like that. So, right there, like I'm trying to tell everybody, I just showed you guys why I'm upset. I'm upset because one of the main witnesses that was inside that home that could describe where the furniture sat, you know, where it sat on the table, where it sat, all this, and they don't even bring him in and talk to him. And he even said he would go in and talk. He would go in and tell them what he saw that night, who was there that night, who was in that house that night, what the dog was doing that night. And they don't even bring that man in and talk to him. And that's his own niece. That's his own niece that was murdered that night. So, by now, 2 months have gone by, and all these witnesses, and all you have to do is pick up a telephone and call and say, hey, I'm such and such detective. I need a statement by you. If you live here, if you don't, we'll come and get a statement from you, or we'll have another sheriff's office meet with you and get a statement from you, and we'll get it faxed over to us. Or, hey, you live here still, can you come in, let me get a statement from you. They ain't even done nothing. Zero. They ain't even working on this case. Now, the problem I have is, I'm going to get my cameraman dizzy. Problem I have is, this guy right here okay, is the main person. That's the main person of this case, the fire marshal. One, he can prove it was an arson. Two, he has evidence. Three, he has pictures of my daughter's room. Everything that was in that room. Everything. Why would this right here, why would this right here cut them off? Why would they cut him off? He hasn't talked to him in over a year. Why would this county stop communicating with this person, the fire marshal, that has all this right here? Has all that right there. And this is for Vernon Stanford. I'm going to ask you a question, you know, because obviously you're a coward. I'm going to ask you a question, and this is a good question. If the fire is an arson, and Mackenzie died because of 68% carbon monoxide, and smoke, inhalation, if that's the truth that you keep telling me, that's on that autopsy report, that Mackenzie died because of 68% carbon monoxide and smoke inhalation, and her death certificate says because house set ablaze. Okay, so Vernon Stanford, if the fire is an arson, which is 100%, and Mackenzie died because of 68% carbon monoxide and smoke inhalation, what the hell are you looking for? What are you looking for? Because I just told you what the fire marshal has. You got a witness, but my biggest question is, why are you cutting this man off? Why are you cutting the fire marshal out of the crime scene? That's the biggest question right there. If this is a true statement, that that's what killed my daughter, then why are you not working with the fire marshal anymore? Why'd you cut him out of the picture? That fire marshal is the key person to put 3 people in prison. Now, that's what you told me. That's what you keep, even when I argued and said, no, my daughter had to be dead before that fire. Or they gave her something. But you know what? You're not investigating that. You ain't investigated one bit about her room. Because let me tell you, I know why. I just told you the fire marshal has pictures of my daughter's room. So every evidence I brought to you, you could have went to the fire marshal and seen if it was or wasn't. So, if the fire is what killed my daughter, why are you ignoring that man? Why are you not? And another thing, see, I don't understand this part. I gave you a witness who put a man there, another man in that house. That's what I gave you. Okay? And I know that that witness right here ain't lying. I know he ain't lying. And I give him to you, and guess what? Guess what? You don't even make a phone call to that fire marshal. You don't even call him up and say, look, we just got a witness that we spoke to before, and he's putting another person in that house, and we need to make sure that that person that was in that house ain't the one that set the fire. But you don't even call them. You don't even work with the law enforcement. You don't even work with them. So my next question is, and I know this is true, this is what I was told by the detective. If you, Donald, withhold any information obtaining, to the fire or death of Mackenzie, we will hold you for interfering with
justice.
Interfering with an investigation.
Investigation, yeah.
Okay. That's what you guys told me. That's what you told me. Detective Brown told me, if you are withholding any information obtaining to the fire or death of Mackenzie, we will hold you for interfering with the investigation. That's what you told me. That's what you guys told me sitting right there in that sheriff's office. But let me ask you a question, Vernon. Ain't you withholding information? You're withholding information from the fire marshal. Now, everybody please look at this sign right here. And it says, for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for the fatal fire of April 27, 2006 in the village of Jeffersonville. Right there's their phone number. State Fire Marshal, right there. There it is. See that? There it is. There's that nice number right there. Why didn't you call Vernon Stanforth? Why didn't you call the fire marshal and tell him that we got another witness to that fire, to that crime scene? Ain't that withholding information? Because you're withholding information from the lead person of this crime. Because the arson, sorry.
Yeah, all right.
The arson supposedly is the cause of my daughter's death. That's what you guys are saying. That's the cause of my daughter's death. Arson. So that means the fire marshal should be the leading investigator. And he's sitting up there waiting on you all to contact him. But you ain't done it in 1 year. In 1 year, you ain't. And then, when I give you guys a person that tells you there was another person in there, you don't even call. Because that fire marshal needs to know that person. He's got to clear him of making sure he ain't the one that started that fire, or come back and start that fire, or maybe that might be the one the boyfriend gave the money to take it to the person that did set the fire, or that is the person that knew the person and came back with them and helped them set the fire. We don't know. We don't know. And the bad part about it, that witness can describe that person. So here's my question to that person, and I hope you're watching my live feed. If you're smart, you'll come forward. Somebody knows who you are and who was in that house. And the person that was in that house was there between 11:30 and 12 o'clock p.m. April 26, 2006. And I'm hoping you'll come forward and say, I was there. Like I said, you ain't going to be charged if you didn't do anything wrong. But you hold the other key to who only was in that house within an hour of that fire. And I can tell you right now, there was only two people, and that is that person right there and that person right there. Was the only two persons in that house between this time and that time. So hopefully this person, this man will come forward and corroborate, and he'll say, yeah, that uncle ain't lying, I was there. He seen me there. I want that person hopefully to see this tonight and come forward, because if I leave it to the sheriff's office to find them, it ain't going to happen. They couldn't find a goddamn needle in a haystack. All that, you know what? But I'll tell you what, this is God's honest truth. If this was involved in my daughter's arson, you better believe Fayette County would solve it. That word right there was involved with my daughter's death. They would solve it. Because that's the only thing they can damn solve is drugs. Who's smoking a joint? That's all they can find. Because there's a lot of snitches out there that know who's smoking weed or smoking or shooting up or whatever. But they don't have no snitches that can tell you who set a fire. Now, you all got to remember one thing, and remember this. This person right here, that person right there, is the guardian. Right now, he's your guardian to protect and serve. That's what he is. You all voted him in as the sheriff. The sheriff is to protect and to serve. That's what his job is. Who's he protecting? Who's he protecting? Because eyewitnesses he ain't even talked to. So, think about this. He's leaving murderers out there that could take your child's life, take your parents' lives. That's what he's doing. He's the guardian to protect and serve. That's what he does. That's what, and you got to understand, if I'm right, don't they take what this big word is? What's that big word they take?
Yep.
An oath.
Yep.
They take an oath to protect and serve. Now, who are they protecting? Because they ain't protecting Mackenzie. Because if they was, they'd be investigating this. They ain't protecting the community because they won't even talk to the community and it won't even give an update of what's going on. Okay? But remember, this person right here said it's a #1 priority. That's what he said. Bullshit. Bullshit. You know who they're protecting? I'll tell you who they're protecting. They're protecting one person Okay? Because I can tell you right now, they could care less who Mary Ann is, and they could care less who Kenny is. They could care less who those two people are. They're protecting one person, and that person is whoever was at that fire with those two people. And that person, I guarantee you, wears a badge. Because I've looked at everything, I've read everything, I've discussed everything, and I can't find why in the world would this sheriff department not do their job. You know, everybody keeps asking me, I kept saying this, and I've said this over and over and over. There's a question they kept asking me. And the question they kept asking me was, why do I think that Mary, the mother, what does the mother have against the boyfriend? What does the boyfriend have against the mother? That's what they keep asking me. Over and over and over. Nah, I should have called on a long time ago, as smart as I am. It's not what these have on each other. What does the mother and the boyfriend have on the sheriff's office, and what does the sheriff's office have on them? That's the true question, right there. It ain't what they have on each other. It ain't that. It's what does the sheriff's office have on them, and what do they have on the sheriff's office that is keeping this case from moving forward. And if anybody who knows me by now, on all my live feeds, I have never had a setback. I have moved forward. The Father has moved forward with this case. And I have, in moving forward, I have come up with so much evidence and so much stuff that's been destroyed, errors were made, and all I asked was the sheriff to fix it. That's all I asked. Can you fix it? And you know what? All I keep hearing is the same old thing. Man, you keep telling everybody every time what's going on. You keep throwing everything out there. We don't want to tell you nothing because you share it with the community. Well, you know what? Ain't the community yours too? Ain't that community part of you too? They're the ones that voted your ass in there. The community's the one that voted you in there. So you're disrespecting them. Because I tell them what's going on. Now, let's skip the sheriff. We'll come back to him again. Let's talk about this guy right here. Mike DeWine. Alright, this guy right here that's running for governor of the state of Ohio. You ain't getting my vote, and hopefully you won't get all Mackenzie's Army's vote. Remember, that's 1 million people. This guy right here, he ain't nothing but a joke. He's a joke to the community. He's a joke to the state of Ohio. Why do I say that? Because I'll tell you why. I made 5 phone calls. 5 phone calls to Mike DeWine. I've been hung up on twice. Hung up on. Okay? Twice I was hung up on. By his employees. Okay? The other 3, he don't have time. He don't have time to talk. He don't do private talks. He don't visit anybody. He don't come and look at a case. He don't do shit. And matter of fact, he even owes me money. This man owes me money since my daughter's death. Yeah, Mike DeWine owes me money. Yes, he does. He's the one that runs your crime victim witness centers. He's the one that runs your BCI. He's in charge of BCI. Hey, ain't that funny? And then he is best friends with the sheriff. Best friends with the sheriff. Don't want to discuss that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I want everybody to hear this. I've got my cameraman. He's going to call Mike DeWine's office. We're going to call Mike DeWine's office. Go ahead and call it.
Oops.
And put it on speaker so everybody can hear it. What'd you do?
I got set her in it for a second there.
Oh. I want him to call Mike DeWine's office. Everybody needs to hear this phone call. This is awesome.
This is Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine. Thank you for calling my help center. I'm committed to protecting Ohio families, and I appreciate receiving your comments and knowing your concerns. My office is committed to assisting you in any way that we can.
Our office hours are 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Oh, he
Monday through
changed it,
Friday.
but that's still...
Please call back during our normal business hours. However, in the meantime, visit our constituent services page at ohioattorneygeneral.gov for services provided by the Attorney General's office. Thank you.
There you go. He said that hey, this is Mike DeWine, I'm here to protect. But I guess he changed his last machine, because it used to say, I'm here for the victims, their families, and the community. That's what his phone call used to say. Okay? Well, let's see. Mackenzie's a victim. Mackenzie lived in a community. Mackenzie was part of a family. And you said you're here to protect. Protect. That's what you said. Okay? But let me tell you something about Mr. Mike DeWine. If anybody saw my live feed where I talked to the commissioners, that person right there said that CPS didn't do anything wrong. That's what he said. If everybody remembers that, CPS did nothing wrong.
Oh, finger.
You're good now.
So, CPS, that's what he said. And that's Child Protective Services. Now, we all know that there was a sheriff reports, hospital reports, that was made where my kids were being injured. Not only injured, but also molested. Okay? We all know that. I proved it. I showed y'all Paint Valley. Oh yeah, I forgot. There was also mental health reports. Okay? We all know those are true reports. I've showed them before on my live feeds. Right there, all these places made reports. They sent all their reports to CPS. And you know what? Not one investigation was done on the boyfriend. And their excuse was, and I have that document, we can't never get a hold of the boyfriend. He's always gone. He's always out on the road. And I said, well, why don't you send him a fucking letter and tell him to bring his ass into your agency? They couldn't do that. That's too much, you know. It cost, at that time, 32 cents for a stamp. So, we know all these reports of this incidents right here happening to my children were reported to this people right here who is tied in with Mike DeWine. That's right, Mike DeWine. Good old Mike DeWine. Now, I can tell you right now, I don't want him as my governor. Hell no! I don't want that man as my governor. Because you know what? He shows me he don't give a rat's ass about not only Mackenzie and her case, but he don't care about the biggest thing that is the greatest thing to everybody in this world. Our children. He don't care. He don't care about those children. He does not care about children. Because if he cared about children, his employees wouldn't hang up on me. His employees would make sure that every call I make to his office, he would have been on that phone talking to me to find out what was going on in Fayette County. Now, like I said, I've made all these phone calls to Mike DeWine's office. Mike DeWine, one running for governor of the state of Ohio. And that man didn't want to talk to me at all. at all about my daughter's case. He didn't want to talk about the money they owe me. He didn't want to talk about nothing. All he cared about is himself and becoming the governor. That's all he cares about. That's all he cares about. That word right there, the governor. So he can make a little bit more money in his pocket. So, like I said, I made phone calls to that man right there, and that's when I'm getting the same old railroad. Now, we're going to go to this person. Prosecutor. There we go, the big old word, prosecutor. Now, the prosecutor is the one that, after the detectives working on this case, put all their evidence together, they take it to this prosecutor. Then this prosecutor looks at it and says, no, you don't have enough, or yeah, you do have enough. Now, this prosecutor of Fayette County, I've given everything to. I've talked to him many, many times. He's even lied. He's even had his employees tell me, I'm not here today. Tell him I'm gone for the day. And then I go out the door, and as I'm walking out the door, here he comes walking down the steps. Oh my God, Donald. Oh my God, it's you. Oh, give me a couple minutes. I'll talk to you. Why? You didn't want to talk to me because you told all your employees to tell you you were already gone for the day. And that's the prosecutor. Okay? Now, I know the fire marshal has enough evidence to charge for the arson of Mackenzie. And this man's saying, no, you don't. Alright? But they can't tell me why they don't have enough. Okay? Now, I have done this for a year of live feeds. I have brought every bit of evidence to the community. I have brought more than anybody has worked on this case. Hours and everything. I don't ask for nothing other than justice for Mackenzie. And I can tell you right now, I've convinced 1 million people who did it. But you can't convince 12. You can't walk in a courtroom and convince 12 people who murdered my daughter. It don't make no sense. I've got 1 million people that I have convinced. And I have showed the evidence of who's behind my daughter's death. And you're telling me you can't convince 12 people? You can't make 12 people believe that those 3 people murdered Mackenzie Taylor Branham? Then this is how I look at it. You don't know your job. You don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to handle it. You're unprofessional. And you shouldn't be prosecuting or leading an investigation. Okay, you know what? It wasn't no problem for them to call me into their office 18, 20, 30 times and interview me and talk to me and ask me the same old bullshit questions over and over and over of what happened to my daughter and why would I believe this would have happened to my daughter. But you can't call in one witness. Not one witness. They already know I wasn't there. I showed everybody the other night, a couple nights ago, I was cleared. They know where I was, so they know I wasn't at that fire. So what the hell could I tell them about that fire or why my daughter was dead or what happened to my daughter? I told you guys everything. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care what anybody says, motive. That's the big thing that they keep saying they're stuck on, motive. Look at all the injuries to my daughter. All those injuries to my daughter and my sons. Look at all those injuries, all those reports. Okay? I can tell you right now, one thing. My daughter had information. And that's what killed her. Whatever that information was that she wanted to tell her daddy, because she knew her daddy would do everything to protect her. Cost her life. Okay, and I've said this before over and over and over and over 1 million times. You have no reason whatsoever to tell the first lie about that fire. But also, law enforcement has no reason to lie neither. And I've done caught them in, oh my God, I'll round it off 50 lies to the father of Mackenzie Taylor Branham. I've caught him in 50 lies, and I can prove those lies. I can prove those lies because I got them on tape. Got them on tape telling me one thing, and then I got them on another tape saying a different thing. Then I got them on another tape saying another thing. 50 lies. So you're no different than the mom and the boyfriend. You're no different because they lied. Hell, we proved that. They told so. Hell, this one told a lie within minutes of the fire to this one, who then they told a lie about this one, and I caught them in it. And one of the biggest things they lied about was the red truck in the road. Biggest lie they told. When I found out the truth about that truck, they had it, you know what? They told me first, law enforcement told me first, they moved the truck out of the middle of the road. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Or they pushed it out of the way and into a driveway. No, they didn't. But they're right about they moved the truck. Yeah, because that man right there, that boyfriend right there, he's the one that put the truck in the middle of the road. That's what he did. He put it in the middle of the road. Why did he put it in the middle of the road? I can tell you why he put it in the middle of the road. Because after I talked to the witnesses, I can tell you why he put it in the middle of the road. He did everything he could to prevent them getting to that fire and saving my daughter. Everything he could. And see, right there's a little red truck right there where the firemen are the ones that moved it so they could get their truck closer to fight that fire. So, but they lied to me. They said, oh no, the boyfriend and the mom moved the truck. No, they didn't. They didn't even touch that truck other than he got in and backed it up and blocked the road. But he didn't push the truck across. Because my question to him was, why would you save an $800 truck and not my child? That was the question I asked the sheriff. Why would they move when he told me that, I said, why would they save an $800 truck but not my kid? Now, I proved one thing last night. I proved there were so many ways to save my child. So many ways to save my child. Now, when I talked to one of the witnesses tonight on the phone, I'm not going to tell which witness I talked to, but when I talked to a witness tonight on the phone, that witness told me that when they were standing outside, the front of that house was on fire. The front was on fire. It didn't even make it down this side yet of the house where the alley is. And he said they waited. He's talking a while before the firemen got there. That fire didn't even make it down this way. But the key thing to this whole thing, the witnesses didn't even know Mackenzie was in the house because the mom or the boyfriend never even told them. Never told them that there was a child in that house. And we know that because we read the coroner's report, that they waited 15, 20 minutes even before they told the firemen that she was in there. But, like I said, the witnesses didn't even know my daughter was in that house. And this is just the front of the house on fire. It didn't even make it down this side yet. And I can show you, right here is, I got a picture. Okay, this is the, let's see. This is that side right here he's talking. Here's the front of the house. Here's the front of the house. Okay, right here. This is the side of the house, which is this picture right here, the side. That fire was only in the front of that house when the witnesses were all outside. But no one knew there was a kid in there. They just thought it was a house on fire. And then when they finally realized that there was a child in there, the fire already had been right here. See where almost 3/4 of that house is burned. Here's a better picture. See, right here's Mackenzie's bedroom and her window. Here's the fire mark right there. That's the fire mark right there. And then the front of the house is right here. House was it? So that guy, that witness said, I couldn't believe it when we finally realized that your daughter was in there. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, if we'd have known earlier, And he even said, the witness even said, he had a 24-foot aluminum extension ladder on his truck. And they were right there by the truck. Right by the truck. And he said, I would have never hesitated to go down to that house with that ladder and save your child if I'd have known your child was in that house. Didn't even know. Mom, boyfriend never mentioned that, hey, and that's the thing I was talking to my mom tonight about. I said, you know, most parents, when they come out of a house and their children are still in there, they're screaming. They're screaming bloody murder. They don't even need to knock on the door. They're screaming and they're yelling, oh my God, my child, my child, my child. My kid's in there. My children are in there. My baby's in there. That's what a normal person does when they come out of a house that's on fire and their children are still in there. And she didn't even do that. She was standing in the middle of the road walking around. He was standing in the road walking around, not saying a word to nobody. People coming out of their houses. People offering to take a ladder down there after they found out Mackenzie was in there. By then the fire was too big. The fire already spreaded most of the house and it was too hot. But it wasn't in the beginning. So now there was plenty of time. That tells me there was so much time that they could have saved my baby girl by going in that window, by going in the window on this side where the alley is, or the back window, before it looked like this. See, this is when they hesitated and didn't tell, and they kept. And that tells me one thing. There was a reason they didn't want my child to come out of that house. Bottom line, you can look at it any other way you want to look at it, but there was a reason that they did not want Mackenzie to come out of that house the way she did. And when the fear set in on them, and the scaredness set in on them, that they had to hurry up and get out of there and away from the scene, was then when they saw Mackenzie coming down that road with that fireman, and she wasn't a skeleton. She was still a little girl. And that's why that mother never went to that ambulance, because she didn't want to know, oh my God, we didn't do the job right. They got her out of the house. I wonder if she's still alive. So, like I said, Mike DeWine, I wouldn't vote for that man. Ain't no way I'd vote for him. I don't care who's running against Mike DeWine for governor. You got my vote, 100%, because that man did not have the respect for my little girl. That man, I'll guarantee you, $1,000 right now that poster ain't in Mike DeWine's office. I'll guarantee you that poster ain't at BCI. I'll guarantee you that poster ain't in the commissioner's office. I'll guarantee you that poster ain't in the prosecutor's office. It ain't in nowhere but the sheriff. That's where the sheriff has it, but you know where they have it? This is where they have my daughter at. In the jail. Hanging on the wall in the jail. That's where Mackenzie hangs. That's where she hangs. You know why? She ain't all over the place. You know why it ain't all over the place about this little child, 12 years now, still unsolved? I'll tell you why. Because the Fayette County Sheriff's Office does not want anybody to come forward with information that's going to cause them to do their job. They want this so hush, quiet. Because you know why I can say that? Because I gave them witnesses, phone numbers, and then I gave them another witness of a person that was in that house, in that front room, where the accelerant was found, and they don't even want to talk to him. 30 days and don't even want to talk to this guy. How can you not talk to a witness? How can you not talk to a witness? And don't tell me that our county, our Fayette County Sheriff's Office is that goddamn busy. They ain't busy. They ain't busy.
For the number one
I can go by that Sheriff Annex building every morning between 9 and 11 o'clock, and there's 7 cars sitting in that damn parking lot. 7 black, brand new, friggin' Dodge cars sitting in that parking lot. And 3 of them lined up down the street. So, who's busy? Who's busy? Who is busy and that you don't have the time to pick up a phone and call a witness and say, I need a statement from you. 60 days gone by. And then you got that weasel, Mike DeWine, up there, won't even pick up a phone and call a father that lost a child, but he wants to put on his answer machine, hey, I'm here to protect. We're here to protect our community. You ain't here to protect no community, because you'd have made every chance you could have to make a phone call to a father who lost a daughter the way I did. You know what? I keep trying to tell everybody this. This is not the way I should have lost my child. That's not the way I should have buried my child. But because it's Donald Branham's child, and it's not Mike DeWine's child, and it's not Vernon Stanford's child, and it's not Jesse Weed, the prosecutor's child, who cares? Who cares? Come on, it's just a kid, man. Get over it. You know what? They're starting to sound like the mom. Remember what the mom said? Mackenzie wouldn't want this. Let her rest in peace. Let her rest in peace. She wouldn't want this. Bullshit. I know what my daughter would have wanted. And my daughter would want one biggest thing. And I'm getting tired of Mike DeWine saying it. I'm getting tired of Vernon Stanford saying it. I'm getting tired of Jesse Weed saying it. Quit saying this word. Justice. Quit saying it. Because that ain't what you're doing. When you ignore all those witnesses and you ignore what I've done in 12 years and you don't even want to sit down and talk to me, don't say that word, because that's not what you're doing. Say this word. That's your word. Injustice. Put an N in front of it, because that's what you do. Injustice for Mackenzie Taylor Branham. And I'm going to tell you, as a person who lives in this community, as a citizen of this community, I'll tell you what I am. I'm scared.
Nope.
I'm scared. You know why I'm scared? Because I have other children. And I keep thinking, man, what happens if something else happens to one of my kids, man? Who is going to protect? Who is going to protect my child? Who is going to protect them? You know why my mom, 71 years old, won't come and move to Washington Courthouse so her son could be with her? Because why? She's scared. Who's going to protect my senior mom, 71 years old, if somebody breaks in her house and kills her, or breaks in her house and sets it on fire? Who's going to protect her? Because we all seen what the sheriff's office has done with Mackenzie's case, and I can sit here and fill this board up with every mistake and error that's been made on Mackenzie Taylor Branham's case. And Mike DeWine doesn't care. Prosecutor Jesse Weed doesn't care. The only one so far that's talked to me is these guys, the commissioners. But, hell, I can only meet with them so many times and keep telling them what the hell's going on down here in Fayette County. And then you got BCI here. Okay? BCI told me, hey, we're going to work on this case. We're going to work on it. We're going to put it, we're waiting on everybody to send information, and then we're going to have an analysis team get together and look at it. But then I got the sheriff telling me, BCI ain't working on this. Give me their phone number. Tell me who you talked to, because they didn't tell you they were working on it, because they're not working on it. Once again, another lie. Another lie. Another lie to the father. So who is working on this case? I'll tell you who's working on this case. I'm going to tell you, right here, I'm going to write it right here on this board. Here's who's working on this case. All right? This is who's working on this case. That's who's working on this case. Mackenzie's Army, Donald Branham. That is who's working on this case. That is who's making this case move forward. Right there. That's who's working on this case. That's who's got all the hours, the time, and everything into this. Right here. That's who's working on this case. But because I'm the father, you don't want to take nothing from me. You don't want to, every evidence I show you, whatever, you want to blow smoke up my ass and tell me, well, we're going to look into that. We're going to look into that. But then again, like I said, 12 years, what did you look into? What do you look into? The only thing I've seen is people dying that started the case. Now they're dead, and now they're getting blamed for the errors for what happened. And I said this before, and I told them this. I said, start the case over. Start it like it happened yesterday. That's my exact words. I said, throw everything you got away because it ain't no good. Throw it the fuck away in the trash. It ain't no good. Start this case like it happened yesterday. You know what I was told? Well, then we would have to question you and mine and give you a lot. Really? Well, come on. Come on and give me another lie detector test. Come on and take my DNA again. Come on and do an interview with me again. I'm ready. I'm ready anytime. You know what? Here's the sad part. I know more about my daughter's case than you all do. That's the truth. That is the God's honest truth. The father of that little baby girl that died the way she died knows more about this case than the people that's supposed to protect and serve. That's the truth. And I swear to God, if I was able to get my credentials, I'd run for sheriff. I'd show you how you're supposed to make sure your employers are doing their job and checking in on them and making sure, even once a week, hey, how's Mackenzie's case coming? Are you doing anything with this case? If I'm going to be the sheriff and I'm supposed to be the boss, I would make sure my employers are doing their job, especially when it comes to a child's death. A child's death. And you don't care. You proved it over and over and over. And you come to my house, you sat in my house, you told me this, you told me that. I've listened to it and listened to it. And the thing of it is, I do the same thing with everybody that talks to me as I do with the mom and the boyfriend. I break everything down, I reread it, I rehear it, I re-listen to the tapes, and I catch it. I catch every single lie. I catch every single, wait a minute, just like the newspaper articles. How many times, people, and you know this is the truth, that you've seen the sheriff contradict his own words?
Yep.
Says one thing on one newspaper, and next week another newspaper comes out, and he's told a different of what he said. That's the God's honest truth. And Mike DeWine ain't no better. I can't even stand to say the word Mike DeWine. I can't even stand to say it because, you know, he's running for governor, man. And I don't want somebody being the governor of my state that don't care about a child and what happened to a child, or at least send the people down here to investigate why all the errors were made on my... You know what? I'm so sick of states and senators and governors and mayors all worried about being sued. You wouldn't have to worry about being sued if you do your damn job. Who's going to sue you if you're doing your job? They're more worried about being sued now than they are to investigate. I don't care. I wouldn't want a dime from the son of a bitches. I wouldn't want a dime from them. You know what I want? I want the people that killed my daughter in jail. That is more to me than money. You know, that's their biggest thing. They're always worried about being sued. And you wouldn't be sued if you do your job. You wouldn't be sued if you were sitting out there telling lies to the community and everything else. So now we've covered the prosecutor. Remember, prosecutor the same way. You vote him in, man. And I got tapes. I've got evidence to show that Jesse Weed is not doing his job. He's not doing his job whatsoever. He's not listening to anything I got to say, that he's going to turn around and tell his employers to tell me, oh, he's gone for the day. Because the man cannot face me and tell me what in the world is going on with my child's investigation. What in the world is going on with my child's murder. And I have every right to know that. When I sit down in front of you, you ought to be able to answer my... They can't answer my questions. Just like I told you, Vernon Stanford, Ryan McFarland, Jesse Weed, Mike DeWine, they can't even go live with the community to answer my questions of why, what happened, what went wrong, why did it go wrong. And don't blame the dead people, because everybody right there, I just went up the ladder, you know. You got, everybody has a person above them on this case. So who are you going to blame next? Who are you going to blame that this is why it went sour? That this case went the wrong direction? Who are you going to blame? The ones that you're blaming now are dead, and we've already heard their blame, and we already know what they did wrong. But they have bosses. They have people above them. The question is, nobody's questioning that. Nobody's questioning this sheriff. Why this case? is doing what it's doing and why you're lying to the Father. Why are you lying? Like I said, when it comes to a murder, there's no reason to lie. None whatsoever. There's no reason to lie about one thing. And we've already caught him. We've already caught it in the newspaper. We already caught it. Remember when he did the live thing with the, he can go live with the news and tell his side story. And he can write the newspaper and bring them in and give a big story in the newspaper. But what he don't realize, we all read the newspaper. We all read it. And we see that a month ago he told something different in the newspaper. I mean, come on, man. We all see it. And why would I want a person that's going to lie about a murder? Why would I want them to be the sheriff? Why would I want them to be the governor? Why would I want them to be a prosecutor to make sure they put away the people that do a crime like this? Why would I want those people in that position? I don't want them in there. I want somebody I can trust. Somebody ain't going to lie, man. Somebody ain't going to cover up a crime. You know why Mike DeWine won't meet me? Because Mike DeWine would have to do his job. Mike DeWine would have to come down here and investigate, and it would cost money. See, that's the whole thing. This is all about money. Oh, well, we don't have the funds, man, to go down there and investigate Fayette County and find out why in the world so many errors were made on this homicide. It's all about money, man. All about money. Money, 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 money. It ain't about the community. It ain't about the people's, how they feel, their heart, So what else is there to do for me to do what I'm doing? Investigate my own daughter's crime and put it on their plate. Put it on their plate and say, what the hell? Why is it that I can find a coroner's report that wasn't filed? Why can I prove that my child's clothes were not wet and singed? Why can I prove and bring witnesses that heard and seen this? How can I do it? How can I, well, here's the question. Where the hell's my money going? When I pay my taxes, where is my money going? I might as well keep my tax money and pay myself for doing what I'm doing. Because where's my money going? I brought everything to you. I brought the witnesses to you. I brought the person of interest to you. I brought the clothes to you more than that. I mean, I brought everything to you. What else is there? What else? I mean, I wish I could prosecute it, because if I could prosecute it, I can guarantee you 3 people be in prison today. I guarantee if I prosecute my own child's homicide, 3 people be in prison today. Because I ain't worried about the jury. I know what the jury's going to think. Because there's certain keys in this homicide that I guarantee you tell a jury, that jury's going to believe what happened. I'm getting sick of standing here and telling people that the sheriff's office said, well, we can't go on circumstantial evidence. Wait a minute. Fire marshal said he had 3 pieces of evidence. Solid evidence. So he's got evidence. The sheriff's office has circumstantial evidence because they didn't do the damn job. That's why you got circumstantial evidence, because you want to sit there and lie again and say, oh, this man was old and crippled and he couldn't get in the bedroom. The fire marshal went in that bedroom and did his job. Fire marshal went in there and took photographs. Fire marshal went in there and collected evidence. And there's enough people on that sheriff's office that if you'd assigned somebody to go in there and get what needed to be done, it would have happened. Or you could have done like you've done on 2 other crimes that's already happened. You'd call BCI. BCI would have sent the right people here, and they would have went there. Because that house stood there. That house stood there for almost a year. So that evidence was still sitting in that room for almost 365 days. That evidence sat in that bedroom. And in 365 days, you're going to tell me you couldn't find somebody to go in. But remember, you pay thousands of dollars for a man to go collect DNA from children. Wow. Wow, that was a lot, boy. Could have took that money and paid an agency to come down here and go in that bedroom and collect the evidence we need. Because, see, I asked Vernon some questions. I asked Vernon questions. And I asked him some pretty good questions. You know what he did? He twisted the question and protected the mother. That's no lie. I'm not going to say what questions I asked him, but he was protecting her. He was making an excuse to what I had as evidence to why the mother would have had that. That's what he did. And that's the God's honest truth. And anybody don't believe me, I've got the tape recorder to prove it. But that'll be another day. Like I said, you guys, we got to wake up here. This case is not going anywhere because it's staying right here in Fayette County. We have to move this case out of Fayette County. It has to be taken away from Fayette County, the prosecutor and the sheriff's office, into the hands of somebody who will do it. Now, I asked Vernon Stanford, why can't we hire somebody? Why can't I bring somebody in? This is the God's honest truth. Why can't I bring somebody in to look at this whole case? You know what he said to me? Well, I don't trust them. I don't know them. You know, you'd be bringing somebody in that we don't know, or if we called another agency from another county, we don't know that person. And if they come in, they might accidentally leak out information. That's what he said. That is the God's honest truth. That's what I was told. That's what I was told. It's all about, here's what I get out of it. I don't want to, here's what I'm going to say. This is Vernon. The truth of what he should say. Sorry, Mr. Branham, I don't want to bring anybody else into this case out of another county because they might find out that we covered this son of a bitch up. Yep. And I don't want anybody to know that we covered up a homicide of an 8-year-old child that died a horrible death. So that's the truth. He can't say. He wants to say it, but he can't say it. He ain't going to tell me, well, I don't want to bring anybody in this case because, you know, they might leak out something, some important information, and then everybody will know about it. Or we don't know who that person is. He might know somebody. And then come on, why don't you just say it? That's not the truth. The truth is, hey, Mr. Branham, I don't want to bring anybody in on this case because if they come in here and they're a true officer of the law and they believe in the oath of protect and serve, they're going to find out we covered this up. That's the truth. That's the truth of why nobody's been brought in. You know, ain't it funny? The persons that Vernon picks to come in on this case, he pays to come in on this case. Ain't it funny? It's somebody at BCI, where his picture hangs and he knows them. Or it's a sheriff out of Athens, Ohio, a deputy that is related to the fire chief of the fire. Wow, there's two. I mean, so you haven't really brought in, but you leave out the main person, the fire marshal. You leave him out. You leave him out. Because you know why? A, he has no ties to you. B, he has the evidence to prove that it was an arson. C, he has the evidence to prove who's involved in this fire. See, I caught on real quick. And one of the things, I'm very sneaky at what I do. But I caught on to something really quick. I asked Vernon, I said, or I told the prosecutor. Oh, no, I did tell Vernon too. So I told them both. I said, you know what? I called the fire marshal. He says his agency has plenty of guys up there that will take this case and start working it. Oh, well, we're going to wait on the answer from BCI. We're going to see what BCI wants to do first. Well, then BCI tells me, and I got the guy's name, and I'm going to give him a call and ask him, wait a minute, man, why are you lying to me now? But he tells me BCI is going to take it. All right, they were waiting on the answer from BCI. Then I get the sheriff telling me, well, BCI ain't got this case. It's not their case. But here's the thing. See, Vernon told me that, and I got it on tape. Vernon said to me, BCI is not allowing us to do certain things with this case. I got it on tape. But then when I go over to the sheriff's annex building, I'm standing there in front of the detective, Ryan McFarland, he tells me, right in front of Vernon, he's sitting there, BCI don't have this case. I said, yeah, he does. I'll give you the name. Well, find that name and phone number because I'm going to call them and ask them why they're telling you they got this case. Now, Vernon just told me a few days in my own house that BCI had the case and they were only allowing the sheriff's office to do certain things. Right there. Another lie. Another lie. I got a detective standing there right in my face saying, "You don't know what you're talking about." That man right there told me they was. Like I said, Mike DeWine, Jesse Weed, Vernon Stanforth, Ryan McFarland are not working on this case of Mackenzie Taylor Branham, who was murdered, brutally murdered, at her home at 7 Walnut Street, Jeffersonville, Ohio. No one is working on this case except for Mackenzie's Army and Donald Branham, the father of Mackenzie Taylor. That's who's working on this case. You know, I sit there and I think, why? Why are you not working on this case? So much evidence. And I mean, you guys have seen my office. You've seen what I got. You've seen what I found. And I kept thinking, man, to myself, why, man? Think, man. Mackenzie, talk to me, my baby girl. Talk to me. Why? And I'm going to tell you why. There was one person at that fire scene. And to arrest that mom and boyfriend, they're going to give you that name. And that name is going to be the one that's going to shock everybody for being there at that crime scene. I'm not saying that person caused the fire. I'm not saying that person killed my daughter. But that person knows. And that person told 2 certain people what to do that night. What not to say, where to go. That person did. And when you put the pieces of the puzzle together, and I kept thinking, man, thinking. Man, what in the world? You know, and then when I went back and I, you know, doing these live feeds, I'm rehearing stuff that I collected years ago. So it's new to me too. And I said, remember that boyfriend when he called that girlfriend on the phone, my ex-wife, and his exact words, "What are you doing there talking to him? You need to shut up and get out of that bar." We all know that that boyfriend is related to a deputy. And that deputy lived, and I want to draw it because it's easier if people see. This is where the fire was. This is the railroad tracks that run down there. Okay? That deputy lived right there on that street right there. That's how close that deputy lived. Now, I have a photograph of that deputy at that crime scene. I have, hopefully I'm going to have some more things that's coming that's going to prove what I'm saying here. But that deputy was at that crime scene. Now, the sheriff knew, and the detective knew, that that deputy was related to that boyfriend. Okay? He knew it. But they never asked him to leave the crime scene. That deputy to leave the crime scene. Because I got photographs of him there at the crime scene talking to the lead detective. So, they never asked him to leave the crime scene at all. Then, this same deputy that lived right here attacked me. Ever since I went after his son, his brother-in-law and my ex-wife, attacked me. And I'm talking about attacking me in the Kroger's store, telling me I needed to shut my mouth or things will happen to me. Removed me off of my son's baseball team in Jeffersonville. Was supposedly identified at my daughter's grave, helping to steal my daughter's headstone, this headstone right here that was stolen off my daughter's grave. Made a post about me on Facebook, wrote a post about me on Facebook. This deputy did. Now, let me tell you something about this deputy. This deputy never knew who I was. Never gave me a ticket. And I've been 17 years in Fayette County. Never been to my house for anything. Didn't know me from Adam's apple. But As soon as I was going after his brother-in-law, and I was going after my ex-wife, he attacked me. Now he's dead and he's gone. But I never said once that he was involved in my daughter's homicide. I never said once that he molested my kid. I never said nothing. All I said was I wanted touch, DNA, off my kid's clothes, off my child's body, off of whatever evidence they did collect. And that's all I asked for. And the only reason I asked for that is I wanted to make sure this deputy wasn't in that room when my daughter was either hurt or they gave her something and she ended up ODing. And that's all I wanted to do, was clear his name. I was trying to clear his name. But I got attacked. And that's why when he attacked me, and I thought, why is this deputy that is attacking me going against his own department, who is saying that this is an arson homicide, and he's saying it's not? And he works for that department. One cop out of that whole department said it was an accident, just like the mother and just like the mother's mother. And the whole department knew it was an arson and a homicide, but one deputy. So I started thinking, hey man, this deputy, man, what the hell's wrong with him? Why is he attacking me? And why is he telling me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about? Why is he protecting my ex-wife? And then I found out, oh well, shit, he's related to the boyfriend. Oh hell, he lived right across the railroad tracks. Man, started putting two to two together. So then I go to the sheriff and I confront the sheriff with it. Then I go to the Detective Brown and I said, Detective Brown, why is this deputy at that crime scene? I want this case taken out of Fayette County because of what do you call it?
You lost me. I was reading comment.
I wanted to take it out because of conflict of interest.
There
we go. Conflict of interest.
I was reading a comment, sorry.
And you know what this Deputy Brown did to me? This is no lie. And the fire marshal he'll witness this. I was sitting in a chair and I said, hey, I got a problem. I got a deputy that's related and he's at the crime scene. He's related to the boyfriend. I want this out of this county. And what he did to me, he took the photograph, because I gave him the photograph of him, the leading detective, talking to that deputy with his foot sitting up on the bumper of the white truck. This truck right here. They were standing in front of this truck right here with his leg propped up on the truck. The deputy and the leading detective. And I said, I want to take it out. And I showed him the picture. And he took the picture. And he took the picture like this in his hand. And he said, he went just like this. I wanted everybody to see what he did. Now, think about this. The fire marshal's sitting beside me, and I'm sitting there. This is the day they called me in to tell me it's a homicide and an arson. And he takes that picture and he says, if you show this picture to anybody, I swear to God, I will get you for interfering with an investigation, and I will lock your ass up. And I looked over at the fire marshal and I said, what in the world? And the fire marshal looked at me and he said, huh? And then the fire marshal said, Donald, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm here to tell you that your daughter was murdered and it was an arson. And Detective Brown said, did you listen to me? If you tell anybody about this picture, I will have you charged for interfering with an investigation. I will put your ass in jail. 5 times. 5 times. And when me and the fire marshal got up and we were walking out the door, he reminded me one more time that if I showed that picture to anybody, I would be charged with interfering with an investigation. And the fire marshal and me walked outside and he looked at me and he said, oh my gosh, that picture must be worth $1 million because it just pissed off the leading detective. Why would he be so mad? I know why he's mad. Because that picture shows him with his foot propped up on the bumper of a truck with the boyfriend's brother-in-law, the deputy, and they're chit-chatting, and I don't know what their conversation is. But while he's standing there with his foot up on that bumper, I've got 7 witnesses standing in the middle of the road saying, "Hey, are you going to talk to me? Hey, I saw what happened. I was there. She came to my house. Hey, help me over here." That's why I got pissed. Right there's why I got pissed. That was so disrespect. Instead of that man being up in that bedroom collecting evidence, or bringing in Marianne and Kenny and interviewing them and collecting their clothes and stuff. I mean, they were already gone. They've been gone for almost 5 hours. And instead of him over here talking to witnesses that seen the fire, that was standing in the middle of the road, he's got his foot propped up on a bumper and laughing and chit-chatting with 2 deputies. There was actually another deputy. I ain't going to mention that other deputy's name right now. But they're standing there chit-chatting. Chit-chatting at a homicide case of a child. If you got time to put your foot up on a bumper and carry a conversation laughing, then you had time to investigate my daughter's crime. I am sick of hiding stuff. I am sick of not telling the community every single thing, and I'm done. But I can guarantee you one thing. I will make sure that Mike DeWine is not the governor of the state of Ohio. I will make sure the prosecutor, Jesse Weed, will not be the prosecutor in 2020. I will make sure that Vernon Stanford is not the sheriff in 2020. I will make sure everything I do, I will make sure that this happens. This story will get out. This story will get further out so that people can see. And BCI, same thing. You need to explain to me, are you lying to me or is the sheriff lying to me? And you don't need to do it to me. You need to do it to the community. You need to go live, or you need to get on the news and you need to say, "I'm such and such at BCI. I am working Mackenzie Taylor's case and this is what's going on. I don't know why the sheriff's saying differently." Because like I said, I got it on tape. I got it on tape exactly what was said. Exactly what was said. Somebody's lying to me, and if you got a lie about this, then that tells me you're doing one thing and one thing only, and that is cover up. You're covering up that case. And I'm going to tell you right now, my daughter died a horrible, horrible death. And when I sit there and I look at those pictures, see, and that's another thing. I shouldn't have had to look at those photographs. I shouldn't have seen those photographs until the day I'm sitting in the courtroom and somebody's being charged with the death of my daughter. But no, I had to go find these photographs of my daughter because I was told that her clothes were wet and singed. And we lost the clothes, so we can't do touch DNA. We can't even, there ain't nothing they could do with these clothes. They're gone, destroyed. And then when they had to come up with an excuse, man, we got to tell his father why we destroyed him, man. I mean, we don't know why, but we did it. And we need to, oh, the clothes were wet and singed. So then I had to go find these photographs of my little baby. You know, do I wish my last memories of my daughter was this? That beautiful picture right there? The day I let her go stay with her mom? You don't think I want to remember my little girl that way? No, I had to remember my child this way because the sheriff's office forced my hand. They forced my hand to have to look and find out why my child's clothes were destroyed. Now, why would anybody in law enforcement have to force a parent to investigate their own child's murder to look at photographs like that? Why would anybody do that? Because of that word right there. That word right there. And when I make phone calls and they lie to their employees, or their employees hang up on me like Mike DeWine's employees did, and they don't answer my questions, and they tell me the man ain't got time for me. You know what? He had time to go down there to
Pike County.
Pike County. Yeah. And guess what? To go to Pike County, you got to come past Washington Courthouse. And you didn't have time to stop and talk to me about my daughter's case, about the persons or person that murdered my little girl. That baby went to bed thinking nothing but that our law would protect her. Our law that's out there at night would protect her, and she was going to go to bed and go to sleep and get up the next morning and play on the playground with her friends and laugh and get, because my daughter was that way. She was a happy little girl. Man, that child would make anybody happy in a second. Instead, that happened to her. Instead, somebody went up there and set her house on fire and killed her. They murdered my baby, my child. For what? For what reason did that little girl have that it made somebody that? And you got to think about this, man. The person that did that to that child is a monster. That is a monster. And for this sheriff's office not to investigate and talk to witnesses and bring people in makes me worry about who's protecting my family. Who's protecting my kids when they go to bed tonight? Because somebody out there did that, and they're still out there. They're still breathing our air, and I don't know if they're sitting there thinking about doing it again. Think about that, people. Now, I've said this before. We are Mackenzie's Army. We are strong. But to prove that we are strong, we have to, and I've got all the phone numbers tonight, so I told everybody to have a pen and paper. There's a board. I will show the phone numbers and write them down. Call. 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 It is not illegal to call and ask somebody what the hell is going on in Fayette County. Why is this father fighting so hard for justice and investigating his own child's death while we're paying people to do that job? We pay them to do that job. And I don't want any other parent or anybody else going through what I've gone through. That's why I do what I do. I'm trying to show people to realize what is wrong here. Man, I mean, I don't know about you all, but it's hard to sleep at night knowing I have other children. And, you know, and I hate this more than anything. You know how many times I have literally called the law enforcement agency and actually said, can you hold? Who the hell, a 911 call puts you on hold? Who in the world does that? That is so messed up that our law enforcement says, can you hold? What do you mean, can I hold? I got a freaking crime happening right now. Oh, okay, I'll hold. I don't know how many other people that's happened to, but it has happened to me, where they have actually put me on hold. So, we need to start making better decisions. We need to start looking into things more better before we go into a booth and
okay, never good.
We need to go ahead and vote for that person. Because I can tell you one thing. I know this is true. See, I ran for school board. And there was a lot of people that voted for me. But you know what? A lot of people walked in that booth and didn't even know who Donald Branham was. So they saw a name that they always knew. And that's who they marked. That's who they marked, because I can tell you there's a lot of stuff wrong with our school district. And the same people are still there. So, you know, you walked in a booth, you saw a name that was popular, and you said, hey, that's who I want. That's who I want. But then you're going to sit there, and these same people that walked in there in that booth and did that quick check mark, like that, they're the first ones on Facebook saying, oh my God, what the hell's going on here? What the world? You made that check mark. Same thing here, you guys. This is about Mackenzie Taylor Branham.
The sound.
Lost sound.
Ah, there it is.
You good now?
Yep.
You know, this is about Mackenzie Taylor, man. This is about that little girl. A little child. Beautiful smile. Blonde hair. Wasn't blonde hair. It was brown. You know, green eyes. Goes upstairs. Lays down in the bed. Pulls her blankets up. says her prayers, because I know my daughter always said her prayers. You know, and her favorite prayer was, now you lay me down to sleep. But I guarantee you, she never thought that somebody was going to take her soul that night. You know, and she's sitting there with her eyes closed, and she's probably thinking about school the next day, and playing with her friends out on the playground, you know, taking that kid that lunch money that didn't have lunch money that day to eat lunch. And bam, somebody sets her house on fire. And somebody don't even care that that little baby was up there laying all snuggled in her bed, thinking about good things the next day, because my daughter didn't have any enemies. Not an enemy anywhere. And if my daughter was alive, you know, I wonder what was going through her mind. And I can tell you what was going through her mind. Is my mommy going to save me? But see, Mackenzie knew better. See, Mackenzie knew that every time one of my children got hurt, Mom didn't care. She didn't want to take them to the hospital. She didn't want to get them treated. So my daughter probably knew her mom wasn't going to save her. And then you got this other person that wants to sit there and call himself a hero because he was a fireman, volunteer fireman. And he didn't even follow his own oath. He didn't even follow his pledge to save a life. And all firemen know that you save a life first, then property. Property can be replaced. That truck could have been replaced. That driver license could have been replaced. The bed, sheets, pillows. That all could have been replaced. But you can't replace a Mackenzie. Can't replace her. And then my daughter comes to me that night. And she says, Dad, listen to me. And I'm going to tell you, this is God's honest truth. Because I talked to my wife about it, Kim. I was laying there on the couch after the cops left my house. And I was laying on the couch and I kept hearing my daughter. And my daughter kept saying, Dad, you got this. I need help. Dad, I need help. Mommy and her boyfriend hurt me. Mommy and her boyfriend hurt me. Please listen to me, Dad. You'll see the truth. And I sat up and I looked at my wife and I said, my God, Mackenzie won't leave me alone. And my wife said, what are you talking about? I said, she keeps telling me, Mommy and Mommy's boyfriend hurt me. They hurt me, Daddy. This was not an accident. And this is before. This is the night. This is the same night I was just told my daughter died. And that's how strong Mackenzie is. That's how strong she is. And I know how strong she is because she brought Mackenzie's army together. She's touched a bunch of hearts. There's people that say they lay down and they see dreams about her. Or Mackenzie goes and talks to them. And she's strong because she don't want to be forgotten. See, that's the thing. Some odd reason, the sheriff's office wants her to be forgotten. And without us, it would happen. Remember that. Without us, she would be forgotten. If I wouldn't have done what I've done, and I wouldn't have got out here and pounded these streets, and I wouldn't went down to the FBI, or went down to BCI, or went down to Montgomery County coroner's office, she would be forgotten. Because her case file would have sat on a desk collecting dust. And honestly, I think when Detective Brown died, when that man died, I think Mackenzie's case file already was put in a box and closed up. They never thought, in 12 years, they never thought that Mackenzie's father would come after them. They never thought it. And I proved it. I think my cameraman showed the other night where I marched around that courthouse. by myself around that courthouse saying, have you forgotten me? Because I haven't forgotten you.
Yep.
Do you understand what that means? Have you forgotten me? And I wanted the sheriff's office to sit there and look at that sign and look at that question. I have stood in front of child services. Stood in front of them. Snowing. I mean, snow coming down on me. And I had a sign. And I said, whose child's next? With a big red question mark. And I watched Children's Services employees come out of their office with a wig on, hats, trying to hide their identity to who they were. Because they didn't want to face me. They didn't want to face me. But Mike DeWine said they didn't do nothing wrong. No, Children's Services didn't do nothing wrong. But they came out with wigs on and hats. Huh. If they did nothing wrong, well, hell, they could have walked right in front of me. Looked at me and said, you don't know what you're talking about. But everybody remember, back when I first started this investigation, one of the first tapes I played was Children's Services admitting that they knew my children were being hurt. That sexual things were happening to my children. And his exact words was, I don't know what to tell you, Donald. You're right. We should have checked into this. We should have investigated this. I have it all on tape. Have it on tape of the director of Children's Services telling me I was right, they were wrong, they should have investigated.
But tell people not to contact her on Facebook.
Huh?
Somebody's talking about shaming her on Facebook.
Shaming who?
Mom.
Yeah, don't make any threats on my Facebook page, because if you make a threat, I have to remove it. We all know what she's about, the mother, but I do not need it out there. I don't need the. I mean, if you can, please don't threaten anybody. You can call her an egg donor. You can call her not a mother or anything like that. Just no threats, please, on my Facebook. If you make a threat, I have to remove it. But like I said, I'm not going to stop. But I've changed my directions because I already know. I already know who's involved in my daughter's fire and who killed my baby girl. I already know that. I live it every day. I see it every day. I know. So my direction is we have to get Mackenzie's story out. And I mean out there. And we got to make sure that these people do their jobs. Those people need to answer to us. And if you're a prosecutor, you'll call me. You know my number. You're Mike DeWine, you'll call me. You know my number. BCI, you'll call me. You know my number. You know my number. And you'll try to figure out a way to straighten this out and figure out why this investigation has not gone anywhere. And I swear to God, if one of you call me and tell me, well, I talked to the sheriff and he said he's doing, man, I'll tell you right now, your name will be plastered on my wall again. That is not how you do it. Don't pick up the phone and call and say, hey, are you working on Mackenzie Taylor Branham's case? Do not do that. Bring your ass to Fayette County and investigate. But before you investigate, you ought to talk to the father. And you ought to see what the father has and what the father's got. And you ought to listen to me. And that goes for like the news. Channel 6, Channel 4, Channel 10 news. I sit there and I watch you guys do stories over and over and over about something that happened. But everybody knows about Mackenzie Taylor Branham. And I've even called Channel 10 News and said, hey, I need some reporter. I would like to discuss something that's going on in Fayette County. Oh, we're familiar with that story. And they don't get back with me. But then they'll talk about a damn tire falls off of a car 50 million times.
Okay.
I don't understand that. I don't understand why the news media doesn't want this story. You know, this story right here. Because I have facts. It ain't like I'm lying. It's like when I say, hey, this is what's going on, I got facts. Legal document facts. You want to do a story and you wanted to help a family, you'll come and see me too. Y'all have my phone number. You know, that's the thing right there. It ain't going to go nowhere if it stays in Fayette County. It's not. I'm telling you guys, it will not go anywhere except for another 12 years unsolved if I don't get it out of Fayette County. I'm telling you guys that. And I proved it. That's why that mother and boyfriend are scared. That's why that uncle's scared. They know what I have. The thing of it is, I can't get the people up here that I pay tax dollars to do their damn job. You know what? They can call me on the phone. And they can say, Donald, we're tired of you running your damn mouth. We need you to come up here so we can talk to you. But they can't call a witness about a crime. They ain't figured that one out yet. Haven't figured that one out yet. Boy, they can get on that phone in a heartbeat and tell me, you need to shut up. Quit telling the community this. Quit telling, you're sharing everything with them. You're damn right. Because you know why? I trust the community. I trust Mackenzie's Army. I trust Mackenzie's Army. And because of Mackenzie's Army, and because of my live feeds, and because of certain people that are touch my heart, I got the evidence I got. I collected what I needed to collect. It's funny how I can call Montgomery County's coroner's office. That's the one that did the autopsy twice. They did the first autopsy and then they did the exhuming of Mackenzie's autopsy. I can call them and that man will get on that phone with me and talk to me just like that. And he doesn't bullshit around the bush. He doesn't lie to me. He talks to me just like a father to a father. Now, if there's something I want and he knows I can't have it because it is part of the investigation, he'll tell me that. But he'll explain it to me why. But I call up here to the sheriff's office, and you know what? I get a damn answering machine on Ryan McFarland's desk saying, I'm out of town November the 17th, 18th, and 19th. November? What the hell? November? Ain't this March?
Yeah, damn near
Ain't
April.
this friggin' March?
Yeah.
And I get an answer machine saying I'm out of town November 15th, 16th, 17th. Please leave a message and I'll get back with you. And you know what? I leave messages and he never returns my call. You know why? He's still stuck in November. He's still stuck in November, so he has to wait till he gets to April, then he'll get my messages. Come on, man. This is what we pay. This is our tax dollars right here. We pay to talk to an answering machine that tells us we're out of town in November. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. You know what? They can try to do whatever, and I know it. They don't like this. They don't like me telling you guys this stuff. And then they get pissed, and then they shut me off completely, or they threaten me, or they'll set me up on something and get me put away in jail. I mean, but you know what? That's why I let everybody know what's going on. That way, if something happens to me, everybody needs to look one direction and one direction only. Fayette County Sheriff's Office. That's the God's honest truth. Something happens to me, you better look that direction. Better look that direction. Because they don't like this. They don't like me talking. They don't like me telling facts. Just like Mike DeWine. He ain't going to like this neither. He ain't going to like that I'm on here, the father of a dead child, telling the truth. That his employees hung up on me twice, and they refused to let me talk to Mike DeWine, and they refused Mike DeWine to meet with me and ask me what the hell's going down here in Fayette County. And the same thing with the prosecutor. When you got to tell your employee, hey, Donald Branham calls, man, tell him I'm out of here. I left for the day. See, I knew that was going to happen. So I thought, you know what, I ain't going to call. I'm going to go there. So I went there. And I went with a witness. And we walked in there and I said, hey, Donald, Jesse in? Oh, no, he left for the day. Okay. But he said, if you call to tell you, he will get with you, call you in the morning. And I said, exact words, I said, he don't need to call me. I'll just show up every day until he sees me. And then I turned around and I walked out of the office, and guess who was coming down the courthouse steps? Jesse Weed. Just got finished in court. Oh, Donald. Oh, give me a couple minutes, man. I'll talk to you. Then I asked him about the exhuming, and then he tells me, can't talk to you about that. You talk too much. You're right, I do talk too much. I have every right to talk too much. This is my kid. This is my daughter that was murdered, and it is the only unsolved child murder in Fayette County. The only unsolved murder in Fayette County of a child. And you're going to tell this community, this is my #1 priority. We work on this every day. Really? I just showed 60 days, you ain't done shit. I just showed you in 30 days, you ain't even talked to a key witness. I just showed you, I mean, I can go on and on and on. On and on and on. I'm telling you guys, I'm begging you. I am begging you as a father, of a loving father, of a small little girl, beautiful smile, beautiful eyes. Please call. Let's show the Fayette County Sheriff's Office, Mike DeWine's office, the commissioners, the prosecutor, BCI. We are tired. We are ready to have answers to why this investigation is sitting and not doing anything. Blow those phones up. If we don't, they win. They show that Mackenzie's army is nothing. That's what they show. They show we're nothing. All you got to do is call and say, I want to speak to Mike DeWine. Might get hung up on, but, and then all you got to do is ask, why is this investigation of Mackenzie Taylor Branham sitting, not going anywhere, but the father is trying to get justice for his child, and they're ignoring him. See, I asked for a meeting. I asked for a meeting with BCI, fire marshal, prosecutor, sheriff's office, Mike DeWine's office. I asked for a meeting to sit down with me in a room, let me ask questions, and then them to answer it. Only one person agreed to that meeting, the fire marshal. Nobody else wanted to go in that room. Their exact words was, the sheriff's office doesn't want to meet with you. They said the reason why is they have nothing else to tell you. That's what I was told by the prosecutor. Even the prosecutor, that's what I said. They can't even meet in a room with the father and explain to me why this happened, why this error happened, why this mistake. They won't even meet with me. Won't even meet with me. And you know, I sit back and I think, man, you know how many murder cases I've seen since my daughter's death? And I see all the sheriffs and you know, all the investigators, they're all together, they're with the parents, and they're out on the news, and they're asking for help on the news to, you know, anybody with any information. No, you know what they do here? They put it in the local newspaper. Anybody got any information, please contact us. They can't even go on. Hell, I just proved that we got witnesses clear up in other states. So how was a local newspaper going to reach out to them? How was a local newspaper going to reach out to somebody that lives thousands of miles away? Because that's what they did. They put it in a, they didn't even hold a press conference. They didn't even get on the news and say, anybody with any information on this death of Mackenzie Taylor Branham, April 27, 2006, if anybody, you know what, you might have reached out to the guy that was there that night. You know, he might not even live in Jeffersonville. He might not live in Courthouse. So how the hell is he going to know who to reach out to when only the local newspaper is the only one asking for any information? I don't understand that. Do you understand that?
Nope.
Do you understand that?
Half the people don't even buy the newspaper.
And nowadays, hell, nobody buys the Record Herald hardly because it's trash anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, they go on there and they call this my child, my beautiful daughter, an it. That's what they posted in the newspaper. That Vernon Stanford called her an it. And then they posted it. They told my child an it. And then they don't even have the respect to write a newspaper article apologizing or even sending me, because they got me. I mean, Ryan Carter's right there on my damn Facebook page. Ain't even, and he's the one who did the story. And ain't even sent me a message saying, Mr. Branham, I am so sorry, man, for calling your child an it in the newspaper.
Yep.
Hasn't even sent me one message. They haven't even wrote an article in the newspaper apologizing to not only me, the father, but to this community for calling my child an it. That just showed to me what respect you have for Mackenzie Taylor Branham.
Yep.
They called her an it. Think about that, people. Think about that. That beautiful child right there. That beautiful baby. They called her an it. The sheriff's office did, and the Record Herald wrote it, and just like the sheriff called it. And if I could find that piece of that newspaper, I'd read it. Where they said the coroner sent it, my baby girl,
Yep,
to the morgue, to the coroner's office. They sent it to the coroner's office. That's exactly what they wrote.
Yep.
My beautiful little girl. All they think about her is an it. And they don't even, and you know what? I've met with Vernon Stanford 3 times after that newspaper article. And never once has he said, Donald, hey, I'm sorry, man, for calling Mackenzie an it.
Yeah.
Not even, didn't even apologize, didn't even recognize it, didn't even acknowledge it. And the same thing with the record. That's why I said I would never pay another dollar for a newspaper. I don't give a damn if they post my face on the front page. I don't want it. I will not spend another dollar for a newspaper that calls a child that was horribly killed and murdered in an arson fire an it. I won't do it. And if anybody else out there spends a dollar, that's your problem. But I won't. I will not ever spend another dollar again on that newspaper. Hell, you can get on Facebook and find out the news faster than you can the newspaper publishing it and printing it out.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get a bunch of stuff off my chest tonight. I wanted everybody to understand exactly what is going on with this case. I've proven who is involved in my child's death, almost to pretty much handing you them. But there's another roadblock, and that roadblock is the investigator. They're not investigating Mackenzie's death. They can sit there and tell people they are. They can sit there and look at me in my face and tell me they are. But you know what? Every time they tell me they're investigating this, they show me one piece of evidence showing that they did something. They tell me it, but they ain't showed me one. But when I pick up the phone and I call these witnesses and they say, ain't heard a word, don't know why. I don't understand why they're not calling us. We've called them. We've left messages. And then I called that person, the uncle that was there the night of the fire, and I said, or not call him, but text him, and I said, hey, have you heard anything yet? Have they called you in and talked to you yet? Nope. Sorry, they ain't done nothing. And so that tells me they're not even concerned about that 4th person. They're not even looking for that 4th person that was in that house. Wonder who that 4th person could have been. Wonder. Makes you think, was he there really buying a truck? Or was he there to collect money to burn a house down that night? Or was he there to cover something up, remove the gas can? I don't know. I don't know, because nobody did their job. And for me to go find this person is like finding a needle in a haystack. All I can do is hope that everybody shares this and that person comes forward and says, hey, you know what? just like the other witness did. I was there, but I didn't kill your daughter. But here's what I know.
Here's what I know, yep.
That's all I'm asking this person to do. And if you don't want to talk to the sheriff's office, and trust me, I wouldn't. Contact me. I'm on Facebook. I've given my phone number. I've given my address. Contact me. I'll reach out. I'll talk to you. But whatever it takes to make this move forward is going to take Mackenzie's army. It's going to take Mackenzie's army to move this. Because Mike DeWine is not going to do his job. Mike DeWine does not care about protecting. Mike DeWine, you know what he protects? He protects the law enforcement. That's what Mike DeWine protects. Law enforcement that ain't doing their job. Mike DeWine. Remember this, people, because that's who is running for governor. That is the person right there that can come down here and do a full investigation and find out why things ain't going the right way. But I'm hoping and praying that somebody that's running against Mike DeWine sees this story and they get a hold of me and they contact me so I can tell them the story of what's going on and show them the evidence. Because that's who I want to be my governor. And same thing with the prosecutor. Anybody that don't want to talk to the father and makes excuses and always leaves early so he don't have to answer my calls, I don't want it as a prosecutor. I wouldn't let him prosecute my shoes being stolen. That's the God's honest truth. BCI, same thing. You guys told me you're working on this and what you're doing, and I've got a sheriff down here telling me, no, you're not. Somebody's lying to me. Either BCI is lying to me or the Fayette County Sheriff's Office is lying to me. Somebody's lying to me. And why do you have to lie to a father that's just asking for justice for his daughter? And that somebody open up this case and look into this case and take the time, because this is not a hard case to solve. They keep telling me that they had this prosecutor look at it, and this person look at it, and this person look at it, and everybody keeps saying there ain't enough. But I ain't heard none of those people come to me and say why there ain't enough. I can tell you why there ain't enough. You gotta investigate.
Exactly.
Yep.
It is so easy to take a box of crayons and draw a little picture and say, here's what we got. Oh, that's not enough. We'll be back. You know what? The sheriff's office is only going to give these people what they want to give them to look at. And they're going to keep hearing it ain't enough. You guys need to keep working on this. They ain't working on it. 12 friggin' years, and all you got is the same story? Bullcrap. I give it a year. 1 year. Think about it, people. Think about this. In 1 year, look what I collected in 1 year.
Yep.
And I can go sit down in anybody's office and tell my daughter's story and tell you exactly what happened to my daughter. But this sheriff's office for 12 years keeps giving stuff to people, and they keep saying, oh, there ain't enough here. There ain't enough here. There ain't. I told you, I convinced 1 million people what happened to my daughter. And they keep telling me they can't convince 12. They can't convince 12 jurors that this is what happened to my child. See, I know what they're doing. See, they're hoping that I put out so much stuff out there, then they're going to blame me. They're going to turn this around and say, well, the father screwed up the whole case. He's the one that let everything out there. We couldn't find a judge. We couldn't find a jury. We couldn't find... That's what they're trying to do. See, they're going to twist this and blame me for the information.
Yep.
But I guarantee you these witnesses don't tell me everything. Because, you know, they're thinking I've had enough. And they're thinking, that man's had enough on his shoulder. I mean, he lost his kid. I'm not going to tell him something horrible that I did see. But you don't even take the chance to go talk to these people. Don't even pick up a phone, man, and call. And every one of these witnesses said, I'll go in and talk. I'll go in and tell them what I saw. I don't remember everything because it was 12 years ago. That's not my fault, and that's not their fault. I never blame any of these witnesses that can't remember everything, because when Detective Brown had his damn foot crawled up on that bumper, those witnesses knew everything at that time. Detailed.
Yep.
Yep.
When he had his foot pried up on that truck bumper, laughing with the boyfriend's brother-in-law, a deputy, they did know everything then. They could tell you every detail that night. I don't blame these witnesses. I am so happy that these witnesses did come forward. And they did say, Mr. Branham, I was there. She knocked on my door. I saw this. But still, listen to them. I did. And by what they said was enough to prove exactly why. That one question everybody asks us, why did that mother leave her child in that house? But if you listen to these 12 witnesses, you'll know why that mother left that child in that house. You'll know why. So, hey, guys, I just want this to get out there. I love Mackenzie's Army. I love everything I'm doing for my baby girl. I am proud of myself. I stand with my head held high, and my daughter is my wings on my shoulders. And she's the one that guides me, and she's the one that tells me what to talk about, and she's the one that tells me, this is my story, Daddy. I know you'll tell my story. And that's why I do what I do. Anybody out there that don't like what I tell, or wants to bash me, or try to shut me down, I feel sorry for you in the end of this. When the world is over for you, and you go to that pearly gates, you got to answer to the highest judge. Because let me tell you something. I know my God, I know my Jesus is proud to have Mackenzie. I know they enjoy Mackenzie up there. So keep hiding your stuff. Keep not doing your job. I would be ashamed to go sit in a church and put a Bible in my hand knowing the truth and not saying anything. Remember, my daughter believed in God. My daughter believed in Jesus. My daughter loved the Bible. My daughter got her wings at 8 years old. All she's asking is for people to stand up for her justice. That's all that baby's asking for, is to be there for her, to be her voice, to make those phone calls. That's all Mackenzie's asking for. She's leaving all the hard part for me. Because one thing my daughter knows, I can handle this. I've had plenty of roadblocks in front of me, and anybody that's followed my story and Mackenzie's story from the day one I started this knows what roadblocks I've had. And I keep tearing them down, and I keep finding that strength. But the reason I find that strength is because of you all. Because you all get on there and you say, we're proud of you, Donald. Keep fighting. Keep moving forward. Don't let them take this away. You all feed me the strength that keeps me going. And then I got that beautiful angel flying above me with her wings spread wide, saying, that's my daddy. He always protected me. He always was there for me. I know he's got this. He's going to make sure justice happens. And I will. I will. And I will make sure this doesn't happen to another family. I will make sure that when there is a crime that happens in my community, I'll be the first one there saying, make sure you do your job right. My eyes are on you. I'm watching you. I'm going to make sure you do your job. Don't fail another child. don't fail another family in this community. I keep thinking to myself, wonder what if it was their child, how this case would have been. You know what I think every day? Hell, it'd have been solved. That's the sad part.
Yep.
If it had been Vernon Stanford's child, if it had been Mike DeWine's child, if it had been Jesse Weed's child, if it had been anybody else's child in law enforcement, it'd have been solved. This case wouldn't even went past 3 months. It would have been solved. You know what? Somebody told me they were going to press charges in the beginning of this, and never did. Because another prosecutor said, not enough. And now that prosecutor ain't even the prosecutor anymore. Now he's our juvenile court judge. So, I sit here and I think, okay, he's just one person. There's other prosecutors. Why didn't you go to somebody else? Why? Right then, I would have said, well, you know what? I think I have enough, so I'm going to go to somebody else. But all these people that's turned down this case hasn't one time sat in a room with me and said why. Why they couldn't go forward with it. And if you sit here and tell me one more time, well, we got to put a match in somebody's hand, you're a damn liar. You're a damn liar. You ain't got to put a match in somebody's hand. All you got to do is prove that these certain people were in this house at this time, within minutes of that fire, and charge them. It ain't hard to do. It ain't hard to do. And they can't tell me why they can't do it. But be prepared that eventually they're going to turn this and they're going to blame the dad. The dad ruined this whole case. I didn't ruin this case. Because if you'd have done your job in the beginning and you'd have went in that room and you'd have collected evidence and you'd have roped it off like you should have and you'd have interviewed people like you should have and you'd have went and talked to witnesses like you should have and you wouldn't have destroyed evidence and you wouldn't have lost evidence like a ladder and everything else, I wouldn't be here on live feed. There wouldn't be a Mackenzie's Army. There wouldn't be none of this. There would be none of this. I would be sitting at home now in the last 3 months from that time, which would have been July. In July till today, I'd have been enjoying my family. I'd have been able to go to my daughter's grave and say, so, you know, I'm here, baby. You know, I love you. Daddy loves you. I'd have been able to cry. I'd have been able to mourn. I'd have been able to do all the things, but I would have been able to enjoy my family that I have today too. But I couldn't. I couldn't. You all put me where I am today. So don't turn this, don't twist this, and don't blame this on me. Because if you'd have done your damn job in the beginning, this would have never went this far. You not only did you fail the community, but you failed the father, you failed the family, you failed her brothers and sisters, but the main person you failed was Mackenzie Taylor Branham. That's who you let down. Because of one person that was there that night. Because that person's name was more important to getting out to the community than it was who murdered my little girl. Now, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Because I know who killed my child. The only thing I don't know is that one person that the sheriff's office can't tell on these two, the mom and the boyfriend, and the mom and the boyfriend can't tell on the sheriff of what happened that night. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's wrote in black and white. Because if everybody remembers, somebody lied on that coroner's report right off the bat that was related to the sheriff. Remember that. Why do you have to lie if you're innocent? If you're innocent, you have no reason to tell the first lie. Remember that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Mackenzie didn't lie. Whatever that little girl was coming home to tell her daddy took her life. It took her life. Within that hour, it took her life. Whatever that baby was going to tell her, because she knew her dad would protect her. She knew her dad would have, I'd have fought the fire to get in there to my baby. I'd have burned, laying down beside my child, and I'd have said, we will go together, baby. I love you. I'm here. I'm holding you. I surely wouldn't have ran up the fucking street, hesitated, and then started knocking on the door when I thought that my child now is gone. I have nothing to worry about. The secret will never be told. That's what you guys got to think about. But for these people that we vote and we put in these chairs to ignore what happened to that little girl makes my stomach ill. Because I know if it was their child, this would not have happened. So, I'm going to leave that with everybody. I hope and pray to God we make this move forward. We get this out of Fayette County. We get it into the right hands. Somebody out there is a true father. Somebody out there is a true prosecutor. Somebody out there is a real investigator. Somebody out there is going to say, what if that was my child? What would I do? And they're going to come in here and they're going to open this case wide open, and we're going to see heads turn, and we're going to see people prosecuted, and we're going to see the end of this, the justice for Mackenzie. So I thank everybody for listening. I'm going to play a song while everybody pumps hearts for Mackenzie Taylor Branham and justice for Mackenzie Taylor Branham. And we're going to hear a train. Walk around, do that photograph. You know what I'm saying?
I wanna
Let people see
be a
them.
part, I wanna be a
all that.
part.
And over here, just keep showing
Somebody
it to the camera.
finding love. Somebody finding love unfailing. I wanna be a part, I wanna be a part. Somebody finding life. Somebody finding life everlasting. I wanna play a part, I wanna play a part of somebody finding hope, somebody finding hope in God of heaven. It's my desire, Lord, you would use me, change somebody else's destiny. I wanna be a part, I wanna be somebody else's story, somebody else's story of redemption. I wanna be the one, I wanna be the one to shine the light of Jesus into their darkness. So lead me to that someone, I pray. Lord, I wanna bring you glory as somebody else's story. Somebody else's story. I wanna be a part, I wanna be a part. Somebody finding comfort. Somebody finding comfort when they're hurting. I wanna play a part, I wanna play a part of caring for the widow, sheltering the orphan. It's my desire, Lord, you will use me to change somebody else's destiny. I wanna be a part, I wanna be a part of somebody else's story, somebody else's story of redemption. I wanna be the one, I wanna be the one to shine the light of Jesus into their darkness. So lead me to that someone I pray. Lord, I wanna bring you glory. Somebody else's I wanna be a part, I wanna be a part of somebody else's story, somebody else's story of redemption. This open me was not meant to be contained inside. I've got to give it away, give it away. This open me was not meant to be contained inside.
So somebody might be able to help.
Glory on the
I
night.
wanna be a part, I wanna be a part of somebody else's story, somebody else's story of redemption.
Thank you, you guys. I want to do one thing. I want you guys to see something. Okay? This is the face of a father. This is a face of a loving father. This is a face of a child that was murdered. And I want you to never forget this face, because I'm strong and I'm coming. And it's not a threat. I am coming with Mackenzie's army behind me. And we are coming strong. And we're going to get justice for Mackenzie, because this face right here will never ever give up. I will fight every battle that comes to me. I will do whatever it takes to get justice for my little girl. She deserves that. So remember, when you look at this face, it is a face of a loving father that would do anything to get justice for his own child. And I'm hoping that there will be more faces like this. And anybody can reach out to me. I will talk to anybody that's going through the same thing that I have gone through, or needs some way of guidance to what to do or how to do it. That's what I'm here for. It ain't just about Mackenzie. It's about every child in the world that is suffering or going through the things it's going through. We need to make more faces like this. We need to push as a community, as a world. That's what we need to do. And I'm telling you right now, this face is not something to play with. I'm telling you. Because I can tell you one thing. Inside this heart right here is a bigger heart. And that heart is Mackenzie Taylor Branham. And like I said before, she's not here to tell her story. I am. I'm here to tell you guys her story and what happened to her and why there's not justice for her. So, thank you for all the hearts. I'm glad you guys got to see my little girl, like I said, in different photos of what she was. She was my child. She was somebody's best friend. She was somebody's classmate. She was somebody's teacher's pupil. She was somebody's granddaughter, somebody's niece. And I'm telling you guys, if you knew my daughter Mackenzie, this is what she would do for anybody. She would fight the same fight I'm fighting. She just can't be here to do it for herself. That's what I'm for. That's what you guys are for. Make sure you make these phone calls. Call everybody you can call. She's not asking for much. She's just asking for justice. And anybody, like I said, you're more than welcome to try to prove me wrong. You're more than welcome to prove me wrong. That I'm a liar. I don't know what I'm talking about. We've all been waiting. Patiently, we've been waiting. You know, you want to get on there and you think you know this, and I'm a bad person. Like I said, I've said this before. I'm not no perfect angel. I wasn't the miracle baby when I was born and did all good deeds. I don't think anybody has. But I don't have, you know, like I said, a clean slate. But I've never hid nothing from anybody about my past. You know, but I told the truth about my past, not what you're hearing. You know, you got to think about those people. They only attack me, and they always attack me about money. I don't have no money. I ain't got a dime. You know, I buy my shoes at Walmart, and I wear them for 3 to 4 years. I get shirts from the Ohio thrift store. I'm not ashamed. I don't have money. So where they keep saying I got all this money, and I took this money and did all this, like that Christy Aders. I bought a house, and I bought a car with my daughter's dead money. Really? Okay. All right. Sure I did. Hell, I can't even go and take a vacation. I told y'all where I went, Deer Creek. 20 minutes from my house with my family and camped with my children. It ain't about the money. It ain't about that. Why and to shut this down, to close down Mackenzie's investigation, that was a good move. That was a real good move. Because all that did was show your true colors. Because who in the world would want to stop an investigation on a child that was murdered? Who would want to stop that? Guilty people?
Mm-hmm.
Law enforcement that wants it to cover up to be covered up? Who would shut it down? That's the only people I would think it would shut it down. But I guarantee you one thing. I hope one of these people tonight, because I know they're watching, I hope one of these people, the prosecutor, commissioners, Mike DeWine, BCI, Channel 6, Channel 4, Channel 10, I hope one of these people walks into their child's bedroom, looks at their child and said, I need to call that father. I'm hoping that's what they do. Now, I always say this at the end of my feeds, or most of the end of my feeds, and I want everybody to see something too. If you haven't seen the movie The Shack, or read the book, this is The Shack. And the book is really good too. And I can tell you one thing about this. I watched the movie, I read the book, my wife read the book, and I understood about it. And the father in here, his name was Mackenzie. And it's about a child that was kidnapped and murdered. And one of the things that God asks is for forgiveness. That they want the father to forgive the man that killed his child. And even though I've watched the movie and I've seen and read the book, I'll tell you, it's one of the hardest things to do, is to forgive. And I told myself that when I'm ready to forgive, I'll forgive. But it's hard. It's very hard to forgive somebody that does this to your child. And anybody that hasn't seen this movie or hasn't read the book, go out and get it. And honestly, you'll understand me a little more and what I'm going through. The only part, like I said, is I haven't got myself to forgive yet of the people that did this to my daughter. And I think when I'm ready to forgive is when I'll be able to mourn. And I think when I'm ready to mourn is when I see justice. And then I'll be able to forgive. But I will never be able to forget what happened to Mackenzie. And so if you haven't seen this, this is something that you ought to see. This actually come from a dear friend, my sister, Christy. I'll just give first name. Her mother gave me this at Christmas. And it was actually the first Christmas without Mackenzie. And she told me, she said, I want you to have this and I want you to read this. And she's a great person. And to see her cry the way I saw her cry that day and then hold me and said, just please read it. And then the movie come out. And I'm telling you guys, it's a wonderful thing. But it also makes me do what I'm doing, you know, and that's fight for justice for my daughter. And I just want everybody to see this face because, like I said, this face is not going anywhere. And even if something was to happen to me, and I'm just saying this, even if something was to happen to me, I swear to God, as my witness, I know there's other fathers out there, other mothers out there that will pick up where I left off. We ain't going away. It ain't gonna die. It's not gonna be buried. So I thank everybody for tonight. I want everybody to understand the politician part of this, the political part, why there's a wall there, and why nothing is being done. And so I appreciate it, you guys. I thank you guys. I love you guys dearly. I love everybody. I do. I love you guys. Do me a favor tonight. Like I always say, please hug your children. Please give them a kiss. Please tell them you love them. Even if they laugh or run away from you, because you know how boys get when their daddies try to give them a kiss. I got a son that's the same way. My Spencer, he will dodge from me from kissing him. But I give him a kiss. And you know, you got to tell him you love them. Because like I said, nobody knows what tomorrow's going to bring. Just love your children. If anybody out there is having any trouble, any problems with child services, let me know. Man, I love battling them. What they did and how they dropped the ball on my daughter, I am so ready to fight them. I don't care who they are. I will force them to do their job. So anybody out there that needs anybody to talk. Now, everybody knows April 27th is coming up next month. We're less than 30-something days away from April 27th. And that is my daughter's death. I want to do something in the park. Anybody that knows where Iman Park is, if you don't, I'm sure somebody can give directions. I'm going to get some hot dogs and buns and stuff. I want everybody to bring their kids. I want everybody to bring their kids, and we're going to celebrate Mackenzie's life. Not her death, her life. Because she lives. She lives with all of us. So it will probably be, I think April 27th is on a Friday. So I will probably do it April 28th, which is on a Saturday. And bring your kids out there. Let's do a big picnic. People can bring food. Let's pack that table. Might be the only meal that child gets that day that we don't know, you know, the story behind it. Let's do this for Mackenzie's life. That she lives. That she is not dead. That she lives. And it's going to be in Iman Park. Anybody that wants to help, just hit me up on my messenger or hit up Sean and Sarah Wilson on their messenger. Anybody wants to donate anything or anything like that. I just want to do a big thing in the park. Nothing fancy, anything, just something big in the park. I'll try to find somebody to come and play some music. Let's dance, let's cheer, let's fish with our kids. Let's have a big picnic for Mackenzie, April 28th, 2018. I'll get it set up. I'll do a flyer up. I'll post it on my page. She lives, and that's what I want to do it about. I want to do it about not her death. I want to celebrate her life. Let's celebrate Mackenzie's life, April 28th, 2018 at Iman Park. Like I said, I'll get as much food as I can, and we'll picnic. We'll have fun. Everybody that hasn't met me can meet me. Bring your kids. This is for a kid thing. Bring fishing poles. Let's fish. Let's just do a big picnic. Bring a blanket. Let's cover the park, because one thing Mackenzie did like is the park. I did do a thing a few years ago in the park for abused children and neglect children and murdered children, and it was a great outcome. Over 1,000 people showed up. But this time I want to do something where everybody's involved. Bring a covered dish, whatever. Let's do a big thing. Let's celebrate Mackenzie's life on the day that she died. Let's show this community that she still is alive and she is still living within us. So if everybody can help with that, that would be awesome. I know there's some people out there that play music, so anybody who wants to get with me on playing some music and stuff, all we need is just some little guitars and a tree, and let the family sit around and let's dance with our kids. Might even do a father dance out there with your child, mother dance with the sons. Let's just celebrate Mackenzie's life on the day that she died. So if everybody can help with that, I would appreciate it more than anything. Probably will also take some more orders on the shirts, Mackenzie's Army shirts. So anybody that has that shirt by then, they should have one. Wear it. Wear it that day out there at the park. And let's show that Mackenzie's Army is strong. And everybody can meet my family and my kids. And we'll celebrate Mackenzie's life. And we'll celebrate that we have a great community and a strong community. And let's do it. So April 28th. It's on a Saturday, 2018. I'll find out, because I know there's another event sometimes that runs that day. We can do it after that or whatever. And then with the weather, if it's something with the weather, we can change the date and do it Sunday after church, where everybody goes to church. Maybe even have church there in the park. Have a preacher and everything about life, you know, how we live and among each other. So if everybody can help with that, I appreciate it. I know come Christmas, I am doing another thing with Christmas where I do my yard. A lot of people have donated some more stuff. I mean, my garage is full. It's getting fuller. We're going to do that again this year. So anybody that wants to help with that, anybody wants to start donating toys or anything like that, keep it under $3 with the toy. We are going to do that again and do a Christmas thing. Santa will be here. Mrs. Claus will be here. It's fun. We did an awesome thing. I think we did 357, something like that, of children. Yep. Got a toy from Santa. It was awesome, people. I mean, it was awesome. Mackenzie enjoyed it. That was one of her favorite holidays, was Christmas. I had over almost 10,000 lights, blow-ups, stuff. It's going to be just as bigger next year. I've got some neighbors that's helping, so it's going to be a little larger. Maybe somebody out there's got some real reindeers. I'm just joking. But I'm doing that in December. But I would love to do this thing April 28th of celebrating Mackenzie's life at Diamond Park. Sarah and Sean, me, other people will give the address of anybody that's out of town or anything like that that can come in and need to know. If you need a place to stay, my house is always open. If you're out of town.
Kick your butt. Kim's gonna kick your butt.
And so let's celebrate it. Thank you, you guys. I love you. We'll see what happens. Thank you.